Now, one side in this campaign has been telling us that the issues of this election are the maintenance of peace and prosperity. The line has been used, we've never had it so good.
I won't have to worry about putting gas in my car. I won't have to worry about paying my mortgage. You know, if I help him, he's going to help me.
But I have an uncomfortable feeling that this prosperity isn't something on which we can base our hopes for the future.
The key point I'm making right now is that the economy is moving in a positive direction.
And yet our government continues to spend $17 million a day more than the government takes in.
You're telling me we got to go spend money to keep from going bankrupt? The answer, yeah, it's what I'm telling you.
We've raised our debt limit 3 times in the last 12 months. And now our national debt is 1.5 times bigger than all the combined debts of all the nations of the world.
We're going to raise the debt limit. We always have. We will do it again.
Welcome back, guys. All right, so today I want to give you guys some words of wisdom from former president, deceased president Ronald Reagan. He said this more than 40 years ago, and it is an eye opener. I mean, it is actually jaw dropping how things that people say decades ago can prophetically apply to today or in recent history. It's just mind-boggling to me. But before we get into this video, don't forget to like this video, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, watch the video to the end. Now let's get into it.
Now, one side in this campaign has been telling us that the issues of this election are the maintenance of peace and prosperity. The line has been used, we've never had it so good.
I won't have to worry about putting gas in my car. I won't have to worry about paying my mortgage. You know, if I help him, he's going to help me.
But I have an uncomfortable feeling that this prosperity isn't something on which we can base our hopes for the future.
The key point I'm making right now is that the economy is moving in a positive direction.
And yet our government continues to spend $17 million a day more than the government takes in.
You're telling me we got to go spend money to keep from going bankrupt? The answer, yeah, it's what I'm telling you.
We've raised our debt limit 3 times in the last 12 months. And now our national debt is 1.5 times bigger than all the combined debts of all the nations of the world.
We're going to raise the debt limit. We always have. We will do it again.
We have $15 billion in gold in our treasury. We don't own an ounce.
I have been informed that the majority plans to block consideration of this amendment, which is number 1367, regarding the transparency at the Federal Reserve.
Foreign dollar claims are $27.3 billion.
It said that China has now surpassed Japan as the U.S. government's largest creditor, owning at least 10% of all U.S. debt, perhaps as much as $700 billion.
And we've just had announced that the dollar of 1939 will now purchase 45 cents in its total value.
President Obama is expected to face tough questions over the U.S. decision to pump $600 billion freshly printed dollars into its economy. Now, the move is an attempt to revive the country's finances, but will result in a devaluation of the dollar.
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars.
We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours,
you'll construct a legal regime to make indefinite detention legal.
history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening. Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the founding fathers.
For some trips, it'll be faster than flying. Without the pat now.
Anna was picked to go through. Pretty much everybody except the baby was picked to go through the scanner.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
I am America. That's in the Bible.
Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
I've got a core set of values that I think have to be advanced, and that my individual salvation depends on our collective salvation.
You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down.
We had an election, and it was about a direction for our country.
And regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course. In this vote harvesting time, they use terms like the Great Society, or as we were told a few days ago by the president, we must accept a greater government activity in the affairs of the people.
E pluribus unum, out of many, one. In the end, that's what this election is about.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so.
Over the course of 10 years, it would cost what it would cost us. All right. Okay. We're going to.
Ronald Reagan said a mouthful, didn't he? That was more than 40 years ago. That was Ronald Reagan, Republican president. He warned us some very things that we are experiencing now. And I was too young to vote for Reagan, but I just heard of him. One of the things they said was print more money. You saw the clips of more recent politicians that are still alive today saying print more money. You heard Joe Biden say that. That devalues the American dollar when you do that. And you hear Obama saying things like that about a world order. That came out of Barack Obama's mouth, world order. He also said, and, Reagan said something about the swamp. Gee, who else said something about the swamp? Yeah, Donald Trump. He wants to drain the swamp. Also, there's this quest for freedom. We want freedom of religion. We want freedom to be able to raise our children and educate our children and grandchildren the way we see fit. And Ronald Reagan mentioned about the elite that supposedly know more than we do. Remember, I may have told you guys in an earlier video, we better watch out for this Agenda 2030. This is a globalization agenda. Agenda 2030, globalization. Globalization is really about a new world order. It is really about one world religion, one world economy, and one world government. That is what it is about. That is Agenda 2030. And we're focusing on Project 2025. That is not something we should be concerned about. Donald Trump has already said he doesn't have anything to do with that. His is Agenda 47. I read it. I agree with everything about Agenda 47. But Agenda 2030, that is the problem. It's about globalization. And they're going to make it seem like about unity and about good things for the betterment of the world and world peace. And if you're not hip to what the language is and hip to what's going on, you'll be for Agenda 2030. But it is a lie. It is about control. And United States would be in danger of losing our sovereignty, allegedly. But remember, globalization is not our friend.
Whatever we once were, we are no longer a Christian nation, at least not just. We are also a Jewish nation, a Muslim nation, and a Buddhist nation, and a Hindu nation, and a nation of non-believers. And even if we did have only Christians in our midst, if we expelled every non-Christian from the United States of America, whose Christianity would we teach in the schools? Would it be James Dobson's or Al Sharps's? Which passages of Scripture should guide our public policy? Should we go with Leviticus, which suggests slavery is okay and that eating shellfish is an abomination? Or we could go with Deuteronomy, which suggests stoning your child if he strays from the faith? Or should we just stick to the Sermon on the Mount, a passage that is so radical that it's doubtful that our own Defense Department would survive its application?
I'll tell you what is an abomination. You, abomination. That's right. He mentioned the Sermon on the Mount. He said that it was quite radical. But before we get into that, he even said, we are no longer a Christian nation. And there was a pause there. At least not just. And you know his affiliation with Jeremiah, right? He was a raging anti-Semite. And Obama attended that church for 20 years. But yet, the media machine can get behind a candidate, brainwash, and indoctrinate the masses. They can push forth their message so hard and so strong that people who are watching don't even realize it's happening to them. This is what is happening now. And it became very apparent under Obama. That's why I'm bringing this up, because the messaging that's going out against Donald Trump is that he is a fascist. He is a dictator. He is going to be awful and evil. He will take away our freedoms. He's going to sic the American military on American citizens who disagree with him. And that is simply not true. This man has already served a successful term in office, and none of these things took place. He is the exact opposite. The Democrats often accuse people of the very things that they are doing. That is one of the things in the rules for radicals, if you've ever heard of that. First thing, accuse your opponent of the very thing that you do. That is what's up with that. And the Democrats do that also well. And the media machine is behind them. Now, I've said this and I'll keep saying it until the cows come home. Satan is the prince of the air. That is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2. He is the prince of the air. The devil is the prince of the air. And who is in the airwaves? It's the media. It's the mainstream media through television, music, radio, Hollywood, the music industry, all of that. And they are telling you that there's more than two genders, which is antithetical to the word of God. They are telling you that a man can be married to a man and a woman to a woman. They are telling you it is okay to unalive the unborn. And God says, if you hurt one of these little ones, it would be better for you if you had a millstone tied around your neck and thrown into the deepest parts of the ocean. Everything on the Democrat platform is anti-God. Antithetical, the opposite. So that being the case, why should we listen to the media when it tells us who to vote for? Right? Oh, by the way, Kamala Harris and Obama, I don't even know if they believe in God. I don't know. I don't know. But I just wanted you all to just be reminded of that. But I want to show you one more thing. Check this out. So right here, it says, watch President Obama in a clip below claim that he finds solace in the demonic god, whatever this is, I'm not saying it, and carries a statue of the idol in his pocket, all on the world stage, worship satanic mystery Babylon. Well, this is what this person is allegedly saying. I'm just going to play this clip and let you all decide what is happening here.
This is a Hindu little statuette of the monkey god Hanuman that a woman gave me. The reason, if I feel tired or I feel discouraged sometimes, I can kind of reach into my pocket and I say, yeah, that's something, that's something I can overcome because somebody gave me this privilege to work on these issues that are going to affect them. I better get back to work.
You can say that, oh, that's just, just a little something he just keeps in his pocket as a good luck charm. Well, he said what it was. It's not good. If you're a Christian and you know about these things, and I just want to point out, I'm not demonizing anyone who is Hindu. Okay, I don't know anything about what he just mentioned. Have absolutely no clue. Just thought I'd show you that right there. Because remember, in combination with what Obama has said in the past, that we are no longer a Christian nation, at least not just, and the things that he has done to cause grievances, racial grievances, division, issues, and him being the force, all right, the force behind what is going on with Kamala Harris, the push, the one who's, ostracizing Black men, saying, you better vote for her. You just don't want to vote for her because she's a woman, calling them misogynistic, pleading, and Donald Trump is still leading. So I don't know what else they got to pull out of their rabbit of tricks, their head of tricks rather. But this thing is a God thing. And Reagan said it more than 40 years ago. I just wish Donald Trump's victory would look like 1984 victory for Ronald Reagan. The Democrats got 13 electoral college votes. That was wild. I mean, it was just so red. I just want to show you guys this. Watch this. Check out this map. This is 1984 presidential electoral college map. The ending results. Reagan walked away with 525 electoral college votes. He's the Republican. And Mondale, the Democrat, walked away with 13 electoral college votes. So basically, the Democrat only won Minnesota and D.C. Even Hawaii, California, New York, Massachusetts, Oregon, Washington State turned red. That is a landslide. That is what I call a landslide. And you know that Governor Tim Walz is the governor of Minnesota. And even with all of this red, D.C. and Minnesota still remained blue. Donald Trump is not going to win Minnesota or D.C. Okay, but maybe everywhere else, possibly, maybe, probably not. But this is what I am talking about. And 4 years prior, he whooped Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter did not do quite this bad because he did get Georgia and I think maybe Hawaii. So this is what it looked like in 1984. Wouldn't that be great? 40 years ago in 1984, this is what it looked like. Now we're 2024. If only it will look like this. It doesn't have to, as long as Donald Trump wins. That's what we're really concerned about. But it will be amazing for the country to look like this. Wouldn't that be just mind-boggling? That is crazy if it will look like that. Just wanted to share that with you guys. A little Reagan, a little other politicians like Obama and Biden. But we have an election in 5 days. And I can't wait. Basically, I can't wait till it's over, but I want Donald Trump to get in and have a successful 4-year term and everything to be well. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, the United States of America, and march on, warriors.